Well, good day, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino Beer Review. Today you have the Rhino, and we're looking at a beer. Today's beer is from the Waterloo Brewing Company, also known as the Brick Brewing Company. This is Waterloo's, and I actually got really excited when I saw this on the beer store website. Got really excited because it just screamed so much different than what a Waterloo normally does, and it was only available in St. Catharines, so I conned the punter into picking a can up for me, and he picked a can up for himself while he was there. This is the Brick Brewing Waterloo Brewing's Waterloo Smoked Applewood Roggenbier, handmade by brewmasters. Smoked Applewood Roggenbier. So the smoked Applewood Roggenbier is 5.3% alcohol by volume. What do we have over here? This smoked Applewood Roggenbier is mildly hopped, and it begins with intense smoked malt flavor. Okay, whatever. Spicy earthiness, rounding out smooth and dry with a classic floral note. What the? Do you guys even know English? My visual acuity isn't all that good, so it's hard to read, but just spicy earthiness, rounding out smooth and dry with a classic floral note. With a classic floral note finish. See, that's what throws me off. Why would you say floral note finish instead of just floral finish? It is the perfect Roggenbier for cooler nights. So a Roggenbier is a older style of beer from Germany. Basically, it's a rye beer. It's a rye beer. It does not follow the purity law because rye malts were not barley malt. So it was a beer style that was basically abandoned for a long time. You couldn't brew it if you were following the Bavarian purity law. It has made reoccurrences in North America and some other parts of Europe. And actually, the first Roggenbier I ever had was brewed by Mill Street, actually. The first Roggenbier I ever had was Mill Street Roggenbier. They made a pretty good Roggenbier. Another brewery in Ontario that made a pretty good Roggenbier was Cameron's. They made the Phoenix there, because they were making the joke that the style is rising again. And there's been a few other Roggenbiers throughout Ontario, but not all that many. It's a style much like a Goza that is kind of just making a resurgence in North America over the last few years, and a lot of people still don't brew it. And some people love it and some people don't. Right away off the color, yeah, you could give this to me and ask me what it is, and I would have probably said either a rye beer or an Irish red just by looking at it. Because that's what it is. It's that ruby red with the little hints of mahogany brown. It's a beautiful, beautiful beer. Big head, a lot bigger head than I was expecting, to be honest with you. There is a little bit of beer left, and the head's not really moving. There's not much carbonation in there, so I don't know if I can angry pour the rest in. Yeah, no, that's going over. Yeah, there's a very, very faint snap, crackle, pop. There's a very little bit left, so that's okay. Let's give her a sniff test. Okay. I want to say, because I love Applewood smoked bacon and everything, that I get like that smoky bacon scent off of this. But that would kind of be a lie. Really, what I'm smelling on this is just some malt and a little tiny bit of hops. Basically, I'm smelling almost a Euro lager. Out of the can, I think I'm getting some smokiness, but I'm not 100% sure. Again, that could be my mind psychosomatically making me believe it. But out of the glass, with that head and everything else, all I'm getting is Euro lager. Is that a bad thing? Possibly, who knows. Let's try it. Cheers, boys and squirrels. Kind of looks like a vagina right there. And you just, no, I'm getting dirty now. I'm sorry. Okay, so I couldn't really smell any zestiness from the rye. I couldn't smell really any smokiness or anything like that. The Applewood smoked flavor does come out on this, though. It is nice and smoky. It's smooth and smoky. This reminds me of the Punter's Applewood smoked pork loins. He does a lot of great meats, and this reminds me a lot of that. It just has that beautiful woody smokiness, a little touch of sweetness, and I can almost taste bacon in it, and that's amazing. I mean, this isn't a roast beer, so it shouldn't really be a bacon beer. This is a Roggenbier, so it should have more zest, but this beer is amazing. And by amazing, I mean it's a Waterloo beer with that flavor. Yeah, it's kind of thin. Doesn't have the body or gumption to last. You get that smokiness. You get a little bit of that like rye / caraway spiciness, that tiny touch of sour and that tiny touch of zestiness, and then it basically fades away. Get a little bit dirty on the very back of the palate, followed by a little bit more of that smokiness, that almost like bacon-like saltiness, and then just gone. Which, if you're not sure if you like smoked beers, this could kind of be good because it doesn't last on the palate all that long. Most smoked beers are either loved or hated. It's the same as a lot of sour beers and everything else. The problem with a smoked beer is the flavor is usually very intense. It lasts on the palate. It clings to the palate. This one does not. And I mean, that might be its best-selling feature, to be honest with you, that it is thin and fades away. Because the flavor is intense. The flavor is awesome. And then it's just gone. And you're left with nothing, and it's kind of moreish because you want to go in for more. So, I mean, that's a big thing for me, and it's a big thing to come out of Waterloo. Like, Waterloo is kind of known around here, and by around here I mean like in the cast, and a lot of the people that have tried it that I'm friends with. It's kind of like the low-end craft beer stuff, like not the greatest made usually. You figure Waterloo Dark, its quality went down a lot. You had the Pilsner, you had the IPA. When the IPA first came out, you had the Amber as well. And when the Amber first came out, it was barrel-aged. The next time it wasn't. They have their porters. The vanilla porter is to die for. And they had a Kolsch. Then they came out with their Radlers, and their Grapefruit Radler is really good. Their Radler Mass wasn't all that great, but their Lemon Radler was fairly good too. It was solid. And then they come out with this, and this just goes up to probably my third or fourth favorite beer from them, which is great. It's again very, very flavorful smokiness, that slight sweetness that Applewood puts into food, and then the smoky burnt wood flavor. A little bit of rye, a little bit of sourness from almost a caraway seed, and then kind of dirty hops and nothing. And that's great. Out of 10 on this, I'd give this a 7.5. I would buy it again. It's not blowing my mind. It's not blowing my mind, but I mean, I'm sitting here drinking it, thinking about the things I could food pair it with, because that is just a great taste. I mean, I'm thinking about all the different roasted and grilled meats you can eat this with. Actually, you know what else it could go with? I make a stir fry where I almost burn my cashews. I use cashews in it, and I'll fry them up in a little bit of coconut oil before I throw them in my stir fry. So they just get a little bit of black on the skin, so it just adds that little bit of almost burnt wood tannins to it. And I think this would exemplify that. Yeah. Nice charred meats too. A lot of times I will do super thin pieces of beef that you throw on the barbecue. You know, it's like 20 seconds per side, and then you throw it off the barbecue and you use it in a nice creamy peanut sauce. this could go good with that too. Oh yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful evening. The smoked, sorry, is it? Yeah, smoked Applewood Roggenbier from Waterloo Brewing or the Brick Brewing, however you decided to look at them. Bye, guys.